everybody and welcome to the Laird Performance YouTube channel for what will hopefully be the first of many of this type of video to go onto our channel. Up until now we've basically done, you know, small clips and just general shenanigans and uploaded it to the channel without much seriousness. But moving on forward, we're basically going to try and do a little more videos like this, a bit more interesting content for everybody to see kind of what we're doing here at Laird Performance. So to kick it all off, we're going to start with our Focus RS. This car is already a stage 2 car, and that's basically the way we bought it. So it's got a competitor's map on it, as well as an Psycho Developments intake. It's just a basic intake, pro alloy intercooler, as well as a full Scorpion turbo back exhaust and SD boost pipes. Up until now, I've not really had the urge to change this car in any way, shape or form. I've added some stuff like the wheels and you know, boost pipes and stuff like that, but I've not really changed the mapping. I've not really been that bothered, and also I've been incredibly busy, so we've been having to, you know, work around our own schedule, and it doesn't help that the car is extremely loud with the full Scorpion turbo back. So to try and not annoy anybody, because we are in a kind of residential area, I've decided to kind of keep it on the down low for as long as I possibly could, but you know, there's an itch that I need to scratch now to go into this car and tune it the way I want to do it, and also further develop our own software for these cars, because we have done them in the past, but I always feel like with a little bit more time I could do so much more. There's things that I'd like to try on this that I wouldn't necessarily try on a customer's car, you know, because if I break my own car, then that's fine. If I break a customer's car, well, that's not so fine. It's not good for anybody. So I'd rather try it in this first, see how it is, test it, and then we can kind of go from there. So that is the plan today, is see how it is on the competitor's tune, which is supposed to be 420 brake horsepower, so we'll see what it does on the dyno. I'm then going to revert it to stock, and then I will start developing our tune on it, put a base tune on it, start from there and then work our way up. So I'm sure as many as will have noticed that this is a 4-wheel drive car and we've only got a 2-wheel drive dyno. Now when you're dynoing these, generally you dyno them in 2-wheel drive anyway, so it's pretty straightforward to do. Just need to go under the bonnet, pull a fuse, and then we'll be good to square it off on the dyno, and then we can start doing our first runs with the current map that's on it and see where it goes from there. Problem is now, because we don't have the fan outside, it constantly ends up recirculating its own air, so we need to run with the door open until we get that thing outside, otherwise it just slams the door shut and it annoys everybody. Just need to ready up the revs, learn the ratio, and then we'll be good to go for a pull. One thing about the car, it does feel nice. That's part of the reason I've never actually bothered with changing it. It goes well enough, so there's not much point, but if I can get a fair bit more power, which I possibly can, then it's worth doing when I've got the time. So I've ended up making the time just so that we can do this. So I'm now at 2000 RPM, teach the dyno, it now knows where it needs to be. Start the logger. That's the first time I've ever done a pull on the dyno with this car, so let's just see what it does, shall we? Cars love to be smoky. Alan's shouting that I'm noisy. Yes, it possibly is quite noisy. Right, so just doing the coast down at the moment, and the figures have just appeared on the screen as 383 brake horsepower. Now that's not what we wanted to see, so I just need to check the logs now and see what's what, but I'll do another pull and see if it repeats itself or if it just needs to adapt a little bit, because there was quite a lot of black smoke in that pull. So the car is running SO99, which we recommend. So the only reason for it being low in power is, well, who knows at this moment in time, but we'll find out. So just checked over the logs, thought it would have been a little bit more crazy than that, but you know, without actually physically looking at the map, I can't tell exactly what's going on. But you know, let's do another pull and see how it does. So last run was 383. Horsepower is a little bit higher this time, but usually that happens after like a couple of runs because the tyres inflate, and so the frictional losses should be a little bit more, sorry, a little bit less. It's coasting down at the moment, don't know if you can see that. I'll aim my chest up since that's where these are strapped. And 389, so it's not bad. It's not bad at all. You know, it's a little bit smoky, but we'll see if we can make any improvements. It might be something wrong with the car. Who knows? We've never actually checked. So it's time to flash the stock, see how it does, and then go from there. So having now checked the logs, I think I can see where I can make a couple of improvements. I'm not going to do it physically in this map. I'm just going to flash it back to standard and start again completely. It's the best way to do it rather than trying to edit someone else's software. That never ends well, so we'll see exactly what's what with it. But you know, it's not a bad result. It is supposed to be 420 brake. It is like a bit down, but again, that could be the car's health. If I can't get it up any, then I will have to look down that route. So I literally just need to go and flash this back to standard now. Oh, what am I opening? Didn't mean to do that. Should be watching what I'm doing. There we are. Go to that one, 350. Identify, we'll find the car's ID. Better go and switch the battery stabiliser on. So the stock run pulled a lot less than we were hoping for, so we'll need to now run a few tests and see why it's pulling that. So standard, at absolute best, it pulled 316 brake horsepower. Now, we knew the power was a wee bit low when we looked at the competitor stage 2 as far as, you know, power is concerned, because it's a claimed 420 and it's doing 390. So realistically, you're 30 horsepower down on what the claim is, and the standard is also 30 horsepower down. So is that the engine? Is it a boost leak? Or is it just crap? So I've conducted all the tests that I can right now to see what's kind of going on with it and why it's a little bit down in power. So far it's passed pretty much all of them, so you know, since it's my car, I'm gonna just go with the flow and see what happens. Might work well, might not. We'll find out shortly. That's the bass tune uploaded. Meaty. Now that one definitely wasn't as nice. Crap. That was far from being as nice. So looking at the logs, on the second run made quite a bit of throttle closure, which lost us a fair bit of power. So I'll need to make a couple of adaptations to account for that, but so far it's looking not bad. So realistically from the bass tune, we're not far off where we need to be. I would still like to see a little bit more. but this is just the bass tune. So we'll see what's what. That is where we kind of need to get to I'm happy. So basically I'm now going to take what I've seen and apply the changes into the actual software itself and see what it takes us from there. There is quite a lot that I need to change before I'm actually quite happy with it. That, like I said, it's just the bass tune that we've been on. So now it's time to go and change some of these values and see exactly where that takes us. So the changes I've made are pretty basic, but they should, in theory, give us a fair bit more from 5,000 RPM onwards. Let's party. And I forgot to press the bloody button. So let's see now that I'm actually going to monitor the power graph and not just the logs. Yep, so it gave me an increase as expected. So that's good. That's always a good start. We'll just need to go a little bit further on that now and see exactly where it takes us to. Right now we're not hitting exactly where I want to be, so we'll make the same changes again in the same areas and see how much it lifts the full power graph by. So if we look at the two graphs now, we can see that there's definitely a bit of change over exactly where I thought the changes would happen. We've increased the power, not by much, but enough. A fair bit up here, right enough. So that means there's still probably a fair bit left to go in those tables. We can just keep playing with that and see what happens, but for now we're trying something a little bit different, and then we'll go back to that again and try and use that to put up. What we're looking at now is wheel horsepower over the kind of brake horsepower figures. Now we've got frictional losses down here on the torque, but we're just taking it easy, taking it slow, and then we'll see where we end up in the end. Is on the go, so let's see what happens now. Oh yes, that's more like it. That's a lot more like it. So what are we going to be left with? That was a good change from the looks of it. The power curve took a fair jump. Cool, 384. That's round about where we kind of started. Obviously the torque's a little bit lower, but that's fine, we can deal with that. Right, I'm now on to my final revision of the day. Before we go any further with it, I want to kind of stop making noise. But yeah, so final revision. I've made a fair few changes this time, so I'm expecting a power increase either way. So yeah, let's see what happens. Right, here we go, last run of the day. So far we're up at where we need to be. Well, in comparison to our competitors' tune, we've met their figures. So hopefully in this run we're going to beat them. Whether the changes I've made or not is a different story. There's every chance it might not like it, because this is me getting a little bit more, well, not aggressive, but I'm kind of pushing it a little bit now. Well, starting to push it. Still not a lot. It's not a lot that I've added, but it's enough. So if I can get it up, maybe see 400 on this particular car, then I'm going to be happy with that. Even if I see 390 odds, I'll be happy with that. And although I just missed that one, I literally just done the pull, made 400 horsepower, pretty happy with that. I think we'll leave it there for today, and we'll return to tuning this another day. So thanks for watching the video, guys, and hopefully we'll see you again soon. Make sure you click that like and subscribe button, and yeah, we'll bring you some more content.